Tonight, the past, present, and future are about to collide, and nobody walks away unchanged.
So do you know what's gonna happen? You done all this already? As me?
I don't want to talk about time travel shit. Because if we start talking about it, then we're going to be here all day talking about it, making diagrams with straws.
Entonces, ¿quién es ese hombre en mi casa?
¿Eres tú?
Pero vamos a ver, ese hombre está en mi casa.
Y dejará de estarlo de la misma manera en que tú dejaste de estarlo. Técnicamente no es otra persona, más bien un reflejo de ti.
It's movie night at the Silver Age Cinema, where Looper puts a hitman face to face with his future, and Timecrimes turns a trip through time into a deadly nightmare. But first, Looper is a science fiction action thriller directed by Rian Johnson. It's Kansas City in 2044, where Joe works as a looper, killing targets sent back from 2074 because disposing of bodies in the future has become nearly impossible. Johnson creates a future that feels gritty and lived in, rather than glossy. Loopers know the job eventually ends with their future selves being sent back to be killed, closing their loops with one final payday. It's a clever time travel concept, easy to follow without having to explain every detail. Things get complicated when Joe's friend Seth lets his older self escape. Seth warns him about the Rainmaker, a powerful future crime boss who's closing every looper's loop. Joe hides Seth, but Abe's organization forces him to give his friend up.
I do like you, Joe. But we're sure enough that Seth paid you a visit. We're gonna have to do something about this.
And I think if you ask yourself, who would I sacrifice for what's mine? I think Seth would be deep and cozy inside that circle.
Jeff Daniels, Paul Dano, and Noah Segan also give strong supporting performances, adding even more credibility to this sci-fi movie.
What the hell?
Whatever they're doing to young Seth, I bet Paul Dano is starting to wish he was back in Prisoners. Anyway, back to my review. Before long, Joe faces the same situation when his own future self appears. Old Joe fights back and escapes, leaving young Joe with an open loop and both men running from the organization. We see how the future Joe would have lived if he had successfully closed his loop. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis make a convincing pairing, with Gordon-Levitt doing a particularly good job capturing Willis's mannerisms and selling them as the same man. He moves to China, but burns through his money and falls back into working as a hitman. Years later, he meets a woman who helps him turn his life around, and he finally finds some happiness. But when the Rainmaker's men come for him, she's killed. Her death drives old Joe back into the past, determined to stop the Rainmaker before he ever rises to power. Young Joe has the opposite motivation. He needs to kill old Joe and preserve the future he hasn't lived yet. Both sides make sense, which gives their conflict believability.
Alright, listen. But we both know how this has to go down. This is my life now. I earned it. So why don't you do what old men do and die?
Why don't you just take your little gun out between your legs and do it? Boy.
After a run-in with Kid Blue and the Gatmen, young Joe escapes with part of old Joe's map, which leads them to Sarah's remote farm, and her young son Sid.
How long since you dropped?
Day. I can't feel my legs.
It's because you're going through withdrawals, you fucking junkie.
I'm gonna die. Water. Water.
Looper balances science fiction, crime, action, and drama, and rewards a second viewing when you can see how the pieces fit together. Joe realizes old Joe is hunting 3 children who could become the Rainmaker. He stays at the farm waiting for him, but gradually forms a bond with Sarah and Sid.
Do you kill people?
Let's say I kill people.
With your gun?
Well, you want a gun like mine?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with it? Pole vaulting? It's bigger than you.
Emily Blunt gives Sarah a tough, grounded presence, while Pierce Gagnon makes Sid smart, trouble, and super creepy. When Joe discovers just how powerful Sid's telekinetic powers are, the possibility that he could become the Rainmaker becomes much more frightening. In order for Joe to face his future, he must first fight his past. Rian Johnson directs, adding his sharp visual style on the time travel genre. He first teamed with Joseph Gordon-Levitt on the acclaimed Brick, and later stirred up plenty of controversy with his trip to the Star Wars universe. He'd bounced back big with the terrific Knives Out. Here's Joseph Gordon-Levitt on trying to look like Bruce Willis.
Looper, that involves time travel, where there's the same man exists in 2 points in his life. There's the younger man and the older man, and I played the younger man and Bruce Willis played the older man, so I wore hours and hours of prosthetic makeup every day to look a little bit like Bruce Willis. Kazuhiro Tsuji, the phenomenal makeup designer, told Ryan and me that it was impossible to make me look like Bruce Willis, and he brought out charts, he brought out photos of Bruce and of me and pointed out, like, look, the distance between the bottom of his nose and the top of his lip, it's just not the same. I can't fix that. You will not get him to look like him. And Ryan saying to Kazu, he doesn't have to look exactly like him, he just has to suggest it. It's okay, it's a movie.
Speaking of Joseph, while filming Joe's fall from the fire escape, he got a little surprise for his 30th birthday. The crew left him hanging from the stunt wires while they wheeled out a cake and sang, "Happy birthday." And here's a fitting coincidence. The actors playing young and old Joe both eventually became G.I. Joe stars. Gordon-Levitt appeared in The Rise of Cobra, with Willis joining the franchise for Retaliation. My enjoyment rating for this time travel action film is an A.
Yeah, I put it together. Clever. It's hard staring into your eyes. It's too strange.
Your face looks backwards.
Yeah.
Timecrimes is a science fiction thriller directed by Nacho Vigalondo. Hector and his wife Clara are spending the day at their new home in the Spanish countryside when Hector spots something unusual in the woods through his binoculars.
I can't see anything.
Give it.
Where is it?
Give it here.
Here, take it.
Cara Ilahanda is immediately believable as an ordinary guy who has absolutely no idea what he's getting himself into, which makes Hector's curiosity and questionable decisions feel reasonable. Once in the woods, Hector realizes something isn't right. And and before he can make sense of what he's stumbled into, a mysterious man attacks him with a pair of scissors. Hector escapes and runs to a nearby laboratory where a scientist contacts him over the radio and guides him inside.
Come up the hill. He's coming from the other side of the house. I don't think he'll see you. If he goes inside, he'll find you. He's getting closer. Get out of there. Get out of there!
Can you get in?
No, it's okay.
Can you lock that?
No.
Shit, let's go.
No, there's nowhere else to go.
What the hell?
What is all this?
In a movie full of what the hell moments,
You can hide in there.
What?
how does climbing into a vat full of goo make any sense?
You can lower the hatch to hide you.
Anyway, back to the review. With the bandage man closing in, Hector hides inside a strange machine.
Quick, come on!
And suddenly finds himself about an hour back in time. It's a clever time travel story that makes a lot out of a small budget, while keeping the mechanics simple and easy to follow. Hector soon realizes he could see his earlier self still at home with Clara. The scientist warns him to stay hidden and avoid changing anything, but staying out of the way turns out to be much harder than it sounds. Events begin pulling Hector back towards the woods, and the strange things he witnessed earlier start repeating around him.
Can I help you?
The tension keeps building as familiar moments begin taking on a completely different meaning. At around 90 minutes, the movie moves quickly without feeling bloated, and it gets even better on a second viewing when you can see just how carefully these pieces fit together. The more Hector tries to stay out of the way, the more tangled up he becomes. He begins realizing that what happened earlier may be connected to what he's doing now, forcing him to make increasingly stupid choices. Every attempt to set things right eventually makes things worse, and Hector is quickly running out of ways to keep the past from changing. Hector's trip back in time is about to take him from present to crime. Nacho Vigorando directs, writes, and stars in this film, making his feature-length directorial debut. While writing the screenplay, he actually drew out a timeline to keep track of all the time loops, a diagram that ended up looking almost identical to the one we see in the movie. Nacho originally planned Timecrimes as a simple low-budget slasher about a man, a woman, and a masked killer. He eventually combined the idea with time paradoxes, turning a straightforward slasher into something much more complex. During production, Nacho panicked over seeing another time travel movie he feared was too similar to his own. That movie was Primer, another great low-budget time travel film that ultimately approached the idea in a completely different way. My enjoyment rating for this time-hopping thriller is an A-.
You have no idea what you're saying. What else has to happen for you to realize the implications?
Hey guys, They only had one hot dog left. Who wants it?
We both know how this has to go down.
Why don't you just take your little gun over between your legs and do it?
Hold on. Let me sit between you. Thank you for stopping by. Please consider subscribing. And here's another great futuristic double feature, just in case you missed it. See you next time at the Silver Age Cinema, where one movie is never enough.